Let me take you back to a time when magic walked hand in hand with reality. In the lush forests and glowing moonlit nights of the Igbo lands. A time when stories weren't just for telling, but for teaching, uniting, and inspiring. One of these tales, whispered from generation to generation, is of Obiora and the seven-headed spirit of Igbo mythology. A spirit feared, revered, and more powerful than the imagination could hold. But before we embark on this thrilling journey, don't forget to subscribe to Storytime Africa so you never miss a tale from the heart of our continent. Now, the seven-headed spirit was no ordinary being. It was said to dwell in a hidden cave deep within the sacred forest of unveil. Each of its heads had a unique color and voice: an emerald head that spoke of greed, a crimson head that whispered threats of violence, a golden head that tempted the weak with riches, and so forth. Together, the voices created a symphony of chaos that bewildered even the bravest warriors. Protective charms, sacrifices, or even the sharpest spears were said to fall powerless against its shifting form. Yet for all its might, the spirit was not invincible. The elders murmured that courage, not weapons, was the heart of its undoing, though no one dared test that wisdom. Our story begins in the humble village of Umuagu, where a young man named Obiora lived. Obiora wasn't the tallest warrior or the wealthiest farmer. No, his strength lay in his heart, as vast and open as the skies above his motherland. His father had raised him with knightly tales of resilience, and his mother with songs of protection. But as much as Obiora loved his village, he had often been mocked for his foolish bravery. Villagers whispered he was too bold for his own good, too quick to volunteer for any challenge. And yet, when drought struck Umuagu, drying both rivers and crops, it was Obiora's courage the elders called upon. The forest spirits, the oracle declared, were angry. The seven-headed spirit itself had cast the curse, and unless it was confronted, the drought would grow fiercer, leaving Umuagu barren and desolate. A shiver spread through the crowd at his words. No one volunteered to challenge the spirit, except young Obiora. "Why me?" he was asked. "Because I must," he replied. That night, armed with little more than a blade, a lamp, and his unwavering resolve, Obiora set off into the shadow of the sacred forest. The journey was relentless. Tendrils of mist clutched at Obiora's feet. Distant wails of unseen creatures mingled with the calls of nocturnal birds, and the oppressive air hummed with invisible energy. But Obiora pressed on, whispering prayers to his ancestors for guidance. Finally, as dawn broke, he reached the fabled cave of the seven-headed spirit. Suddenly, the air grew heavier, and the ground began to tremble. From the depths of shadows emerged the spirit, towering over him. "Leave, mortal," it hissed. "What can one such as you possibly offer against us?" But Obiora did not falter. "I do not come to fight you," he said firmly. "I come to challenge you." The emerald head leaned closer, a sickly grin spreading across its wide, unnatural face. Challenge? What challenge could match our power? And so it began. The seven-headed spirit set forth a series of trials meant to break Obiora's resolve. First was the trial of fear, an illusion of his village burning, his loved ones crying out, his mother's voice begging him to run away. Obiora shut his eyes and found strength in the memory of her wisdom. "Fear is loud," she had once sung to him, "but the truth whispers underneath." When he opened his eyes, the illusion vanished. Next came the trial of temptation. The golden head conjured piles of shimmering treasures, gold, ivory, the spoils of kings. "Take these riches, O bold one," it purred, "and walk away. Save yourself." Obiora gritted his teeth as he remembered his people's thirst and hunger. "What use are riches to a land without water?" he snapped, and the treasures dissolved into dust. The final challenge was one of the spirit's most cruel. The crimson and sapphire heads combined their powers to trap Obiora in a maze of mirrors, each reflection showing a defeated version of himself. Injured, lost, broken. Doubt began to creep into his heart. But he thought of the village, of the elders, of his father's nightly tales filled with hope. "Reflection is not reality," Obiora cried, smashing the largest mirror with his blade. The maze collapsed, and the spirit howled in rage. Panting but resolute, Obiora stared up at the seven-headed spirit. "Enough games," he said. "Release the curse on my village, or I shall find a way to destroy even you." For the first time, the seven heads grew silent. Their chaotic symphony seemed to retreat into itself, leaving only the stern gaze of the emerald head. "You have passed the trials," it said. "Courage is your weapon, and it is mightier than any we can conjure. Very well, the curse is lifted. You may leave with our respect, but beware, mortal. Strength fades if not watered by humility." When Obiora returned to Umuagu, the rains followed. The villagers erupted with joy, praising both the spirits and Obiora for his bravery. Yet, he did not boast or revel in their admiration. "This victory belongs to us all," he humbly said. "Never forget that even in the face of terror, unity and courage are our greatest shields." And so, Obiora's name became legend, not as a warrior, but as a symbol of selfless bravery. And the seven-headed spirit? To this day, its warnings echo in every Igbo tale, reminding mortals to temper courage with humility and respect. If you loved this story of Obiora and the seven-headed spirit, there are so many more African tales waiting for you. Be sure to subscribe to Storytime Africa and join us in keeping these stories alive. Share them, learn from them, and let them inspire you.